more than 3 decades, Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei stood at the center of the country's power structure. U.S. President Donald Trump claimed that Khamenei was killed on the first day of joint U.S. and Israeli airstrikes. Iranian state television later confirmed his death. At 86, Khamenei was one of the world's longest-serving leaders. His death marks not only a turning point for Iran, but also the beginning of an uncertain new chapter for the wider Middle East. Since the 1979 Islamic Revolution, Iran has had only 2 supreme leaders. The first was Ruhollah Khomeini, and after he died in 1989, Khamenei assumed the role. The supreme leader is the most powerful figure in Iran. He serves as head of state, commander-in-chief of the armed forces, and the ultimate authority over all major decisions. He can veto any law or policy and determine who is eligible to run for key government positions. Although Iran elects a president, ultimate decision-making power rests with the supreme leader. Iran's younger generation has never known another supreme leader. His speeches were broadcast nationwide on state television, and his image was displayed on billboards and in shops across the country. While presidents often attracted more attention abroad within Iran, Khamenei was the true symbol of authority. Born in 1939 in the city of Mashhad to a religious family, Khamenei was the second of 8 children. His father was a Shia cleric. From an early age, he focused on religious studies and was said to have excelled by the age of 11. However, his work was not limited to religion. He was also politically active. Khamenei once said his family was poor and that they sometimes survived on bread and raisins alone. During the 1960s and 1970s, Khamenei joined opposition movements against Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. He was arrested 6 times for speaking out against the Shah's rule and endured torture and internal exile. Following the 1979 Islamic Revolution, which ousted the Shah, Khomeini appointed him as Tehran's Friday prayer leader. His weekly political sermons were broadcast nationwide, quickly establishing him as a prominent national figure. Shortly after the revolution, pro-Khomeini students seized the U.S. Embassy in Tehran and held diplomats hostage for 444 days. Khamenei supported their actions. The incident cemented Iran's position as a principal adversary of the United States and marked the beginning of prolonged international isolation. In 1981, Khamenei was seriously injured in a bomb attack when an explosive device hidden inside a tape recorder detonated. His lungs were damaged and his right arm was permanently paralyzed. Later that year, after Iran's president was assassinated, Khamenei ran for office and won with 97% of the vote. However, real power at the time remained with Supreme Leader Khomeini. In 1980, Iraqi President Saddam Hussein launched missile attacks on Iran, including the use of chemical weapons. The 8-year conflict resulted in hundreds of thousands of deaths. Iran mobilized young volunteers in its defense. The war deepened Khamenei's distrust of the United States and Western nations, whom he believed had supported Iraq. After Khomeini died in 1989, Khamenei became supreme leader. Although some questioned his religious credentials, he gradually consolidated his authority. Over the next 30 years, he placed loyalists in parliament, the judiciary, the military, the media, and religious institutions. Analysts say his power relied heavily on networks of clerics in the Revolutionary Guard. Several major protests occurred during Khamenei's rule, including the 1999 student protests, the 2009 election unrest, demonstrations in 2019 over fuel price rises, and the large-scale protests in 2022 following the death of Mahsa Amini. These movements were met with harsh crackdowns. In 2026, amid an economic crisis, fresh protests erupted, and security operations reportedly led to thousands being killed or detained. Khamenei maintained a consistently hardline stance in foreign policy. Under his leadership, Iran became a principal adversary of both the United States and Israel. In 2001, the US labeled Iran part of the axis of evil, further worsening relations. He supported allied groups across the Middle East, including Hezbollah in Lebanon, heightening tensions with Israel. Iran's nuclear program also remained a source of prolonged tension with the United States and Western powers. In 2015, Iran agreed to a nuclear deal aimed at reducing the crisis. However, in 2018, President Donald Trump withdrew the United States from the agreement and reimposed strict sanctions on Iran. In 2020, a U.S. strike in Baghdad killed Iran's influential military commander, Qasem Soleimani, pushing U.S.-Iran relations to a new level of confrontation. In 2025, Israel carried out strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, later joined by the United States. Iran responded in kind, and regional tensions escalated rapidly. In 2026, the United States became directly engaged in war with Iran, launching major attacks on nuclear sites. At the time, Khamenei rejected calls for surrender and threatened to continue fighting. On March 1st, he was killed in a joint US-Israeli strike. Khamenei's death signals a profound shift for Iran. For more than 3 decades, he shaped the country's politics, military, and society. His successor has yet to be determined. What is clear, however, is that his death will significantly affect Iran's internal power balance, domestic politics, and the broader future of the Middle East.